slowing the otherwise rapid progression of DMD, and they can broaden treatment options for patients and provide another option to the immunosuppressive corticosteroids that exist as the only treatments today. This also shows the use of Sache-like D-Virio embryos as a way to rapidly and effectively screen drugs for DMD treatments. And in addition, for future studies, I could use more advanced models to further prove the significance of aminophylline and fluoxetine as potential treatments, such as rats or even humans one day. And I could also study these treatments further and seeing how necessarily they can help DMD patients other than raising PKA levels. And acknowledgements?
What was your inspiration?
So this young man asked me what was my inspiration. Ms. Peterson kind of knows. So around mid-October, I had a completely different project idea, and my ELISA kit was not able to be ordered, so I needed to kind of think of a new project within 2 days. And I was looking on Google Scholar, whatever it is, and I found that there was this awesome laboratory, and they made these special zebrafish embryos in which I could study something that a lot of people haven't really done before in terms of like the classroom setting. So I contacted the Kunkel Laboratory, and I looked at, they said they were able to give me these fish that had the special genotype, and then I looked at treatments that I could treat them with to see, you know, what could be statistically significant, and I found the corresponding ELISA kit as well. Yeah.
How long did it take you to get the fish?
So he asked me, how long did it take to get the fish? So I had to be in an email correspondence with these people, and originally they set out 3 dates in which I can get the fish, and the first date was on Valentine's Day. They emailed me again saying that the fish did not hatch, so I would not get my fish on Valentine's Day. And then on the next week, I got my fish. And in MedSci, we have like experimentation time, so it was in experimentation time. It took me about a week to get them. Matt, and then Nick.
Is DMD partially autoimmune?
No. DMD is not an autoimmune disease. It's a disease in which patients have muscle degeneration and wasting, but it has nothing to do with your immune system. It's more of your body's not making enough protein, so your muscles are going to waste faster. Nick. Not Nick. Oh my god. Ethan. I'm sorry.
How did you harvest the zebrafish embryos?
Oh, okay. So he asked, how did I harvest the zebrafish embryos? Typically in research, they say this is for, making them pass away. But essentially, I didn't really need to harvest them, actually. Since most of them exhibited the lethal phenotype, they died at 7 days post-fertilization. And in terms of the wild-type fish, they also happened to die. So I transferred their samples into a 96-well plate, and I froze the plate. And when it was time for the ELISA kit, I defrosted the plate, and I used the samples for the ELISA.
How did you determine the concentration used to treat your?
Okay, so this is a good question. She asked, how did I determine the concentration? I looked at a few previous studies. There was actually 2 previous studies that I looked at. One of them looked at fluoxetine and how it affected birefringence. And then another one looked at aminophylline and how it affected birefringence and PKA levels. This was actually conducted by the Kunkel lab. And so they used those concentrations listed. And then in terms like theophylline and sertraline, so aminophylline and theophylline are of the same drug class, so I just use the same concentration because there were no previous studies done. And in terms of sertraline and fluoxetine, they're also of the same drug class. So I use the concentration that was used for the fluoxetine.
Given the challenges that you stated you had early on, if you were to go back in time, coming into this class, what would you have done differently to maybe be able to overcome those challenges?
So you're asking, what would I have done differently to overcome those challenges then? Like going back in October? If I'm being honest, I wouldn't have done anything differently because I feel like it was one of the few times where like I actually was like, I need to fix this. So I kind of just like, I remember that entire night was just spent researching and stuff. But I guess I would have definitely tried to figure out whether I had those ELISA kits sooner, because that definitely would have given me more time to kind of figure everything out. Because I think at the end of the day, I came up with like a decent project, like it worked, but it would have been more convenient to have more time. So.
When you did do the experiments, did the fish have like the physical like deformities?
Yes, actually. So I forgot to put it on this presentation, but you could actually see through a microscope without the birefringence assay that the fish were phenotypically affected. One of the ways was the fish had a curved spine. So I found that underneath the microscope, one of the fish had like a curved spine, and as it swam throughout the water, the spine curvature didn't move at all. It kind of just limped around. So yes, you could see them physically. Any more questions?